Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, this may well be yet another opportunity towards that much vaunted restructuring that is the topical issue within the Nigerian space. To be fair, the restructuring has been a topical issue within the Nigerian space for well over a decade now, if not longer. But rather than it happening as one big event, it seems to be happening in a drip, slow and steady sort of a manner. So the restructuring now is in the form of the Fulanis now being chased out of our Yoruba land especially, and the southern regions in general. So they are being pushed back, and of course they are now responding by saying that they would not send food to the southern regions. I mean, the staple foods that they send to the southern regions, they don't provide all the foods, of course, of the southern regions, but there are certain food items that traditionally come from the north, and they are now threatening not to send that. It's usually onions, tomatoes, cattle, cow meat, etc., yam in some instances. So they are now putting blockades in the roads that transit those food items to the southern region. So that is yet another element of restructuring, because if they are now fencing off that food supply and selling their food to the neighboring countries like their kith and kin in Cameroon and Niger Republic, etc., then of course it then forces the focus of the southern region to provide for themselves, which is easily and quickly done. I mean, food production in Nigeria is not rocket science, and it is something that can happen fairly quickly. So nobody will starve, of course, within the southern region. It's just really to recalibrate and look to what we have within and build our diet around that. So that is yet another drip, another a step towards that restructuring, because a lot of people talk about restructuring as if they are expecting some sort of like a stop sharp sudden effect, sort of you pause everything, you recalibrate, and then you move from a ground zero of a new structure. So that is not how this thing is taking place. This thing is taking place by the force of events and necessity. And the force of events and necessity are what we're seeing playing out now, with the Fulani headsmen savaging and ravaging to the point that people are responding, and they are now blocking food items coming from the north. The Yoruba socio-political group Afenifere responds, as guides are bringing this. Afenifere reacts to threats to stop food supply from north to south. So now Afenifere, of course, the spokes voice, not singularly, but one of the more prominent spoke voices of the Yoruba people, they are now taking a position now with this stance that the northerners have taken to cut off tomato and onions from the markets of our Yoruba land and Igbo land. So again, the headline, Afenifere reacts to threats to stop supply of food from north to south. So now let's now see now how the Yorubas respond to the moves being made by the Malamis. The Pan-Yoruba socio-political organization Afenifere has said northerners can withdraw their cows from the south, but should not forget that the southern states produce petroleum, the country's economic mainstay. Speaking on Friday, the group's national publicity secretary, Yinka Odumakin, said there are other sources of protein that the southerners could consume aside from cows. They should not forget that petroleum goes from south to the north, so they should be careful. When you are throwing stones at your neighbors, you should be careful what he throws back at you, he said. Odumaki said the North could not threaten the South with the withdrawal of cattle and other food produce, as there are other places where the items can be purchased. He listed countries such as Togo, the Benin Republic as friendly countries where the South can purchase cattle and other items withdrawn by the North. According to him, the North's withdrawal of foodstuff will benefit the South as it will make the people do more in agriculture. If they withdraw their cows from the South, no problem about that. Before cows, we had what we were eating. Cows are not the only source of protein. There are several other sources. It will encourage our people to do more in the area of agriculture. We have neighbors who are peaceful like Benin Republic and Togo and other places that we can buy things from. They can't threaten us with anything such as withdrawal of items. There have been fears that an acute shortage of beef, vegetables, tomatoes, and onions, amongst other essential edibles from the north, may soon hit southern Nigeria as foodstuff and cattle breeders under the aegis of Amalgamated Union of Foodstuff and Cattle Dealers of Nigeria had 4 days ago threatened to withdraw their services. Correspondents recall how the Middle Belt Forum described the attempted blockage of food items transported from northern Nigeria to the south as a criminal act. In a statement signed by Pegu Bitrus, its national president, on Friday, the group called on the federal government to address the issue that it said can throw the entire country into chaos. So get lost with your cows and your malus effectively is the Yoruba response, and of course that would be your expectation of the Yorubas. I mean, the audacity of a Malami threatening Yoruba land, especially when it comes to food, which Yoruba family does not have a farm settlement somewhere. So if they are saying that they are not bringing their food items to the southern regions anymore, then there will be no need for that migration of our cattle from north to south through the forest, which is the harbinger, which is the source of a good percentage of the problems that we're having in the country at the moment. So if they are not bringing their cattle to the south anymore, then we have no need to see cattle on the streets of Lagos, Ibadan, Oyo, Ogun, Onitsha, etc. So we are quite happy actually with that exchange. So you keep your cattle in your region and sell to Niger Republic and Cameroon, as you have said that is what you are going to be doing from now. And in return, we have the expectation not to see cattle on the streets or in the forest of the southern regions. So this exchange is something that every right-thinking southerner would gleefully grab. So if we have that arrangement, then everybody is happy. You are not happy with the way that they are treating you, complaining that they don't want you to rape and kill them. This upsets you. So you are saying you are not bringing your Malu to the south anymore. Good. So then we get rid of two problems, and we create in addition an opportunity for ourselves. So we get rid of the problem of you transiting malus through people's farms and farmyards and killing farmers. So we get rid of that, and by extension then we get rid of the Fulani person within the Yoruba space and within the southern region. Because of course, if the Fulani person is not rearing cattle or selling tomato and onions, then he has no business in the southern regions. Is the Fulani man going to come and become a banker, a lawyer, a doctor? Of course not. He doesn't have the brain functions for that. It doesn't, there's nothing going on upstairs. It's just wild thoughts and Neanderthals, sort of like a feeble-brained nonsense that they have in their head, which is of course what is manifesting on the streets. So if you are saying you want to keep your cattle, but then in addition to keeping your cattle, keep your people. So if you keep your cattle and your people, and then we adjust our dietary requirements to suffice with what we have within our own space. That is another step towards that restructuring now. So the cattle don't come anymore, and they are creating their economy with Niger Republic and Cameroon, etc., which is essentially where their people are, and we are creating our economy, as Odumakin has now stated, which has always been my sentiment as well. We are creating our economy with Togo and Niger Republic, not Niger Republic, but Republic of Benin. Niger Republic belongs to them. The Republic of Benin belongs to us. So we are creating our economy with Benin Republic and Togo, because the people in Benin Republic and Togo, they are essentially, not even essentially, they are factually Yoruba people, split by the Europeans in that orgy of excess that they had centuries ago, where they just savaged the African space. So now if we start to create that economy with the people of Benin Republic and Togo, and they start to create their economy with their people in Niger Republic and some parts of Cameroon, then you see already that that restructuring is evolving organically as a child of necessity. So the breaking up of that country, it doesn't have to be anything forceful or anybody holding guns at each other. It is the necessity of the circumstances of the sort of life that we're living in contemporary times that will necessitate and just naturally evolve that country into its natural into its natural balance. So that natural balance then is either some sort of like a confederation, if they still want to hold on to the title Nigeria, or an actual breakup, which is really what a lot of people want. I know that a lot of the Southerners are quite keen on this idea. The Yorubas are on board on it. The Igbos have been fighting for it for well over 60 years. So now this thing is now happening by some form of osmosis, and really at the heart of everything that is wrong and effects change within the Nigerian space is the cattle. So it is the cattle wars again now that is now slowly now evolving this now restructuring via the back door that we're seeing slowly evolving within the Nigerian space. Conversations in the comment section. Come share thoughts. The Afenifere group replies to the threats by the Northerners to starve us in the south of food, and we are telling them thank you, and you go on and do exactly that and take your people with you. Come share thoughts about all this with me in the comment section. But before you come into the comment section to engage, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. The bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well, because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Once you've done all the clickings, the Malamis are threatening us with Malu, but then of course we have been looking to get rid of the Malus for a very long time now. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section, but here I say peace.